This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. A 45% rally in soybean prices in 11 months was not enough to convince South Dakota farmer Dwayne Boss to give up any corn acreage on his farm this spring. "For our farm, we are looking at maxing out corn acres," said Boss, who added that soybean futures for the next crop would have to rally another 9% to $13.25 a bushel to make switching up his seeding plans worthwhile. "The price has to move pretty drastically for us to unhook the corn planters," he said.
China generated 53% of the world's total coal-fired power in 2020, 9 percentage points more than 5 years earlier, despite climate pledges and the building of hundreds of renewable energy plants, a global data study showed on Monday. Although China added a record 71.7 gigawatts (GW) of wind power and 48.2 gigawatts of solar last year, it was the only G20 nation to see a significant jump in coal-fired generation, said Ember, the London-based energy and climate research group. China's coal-fired generation rose by 1.7% or 77 terawatt-hours, enough to bring its share of global coal power to 53%, up from 44% in 2015, the report showed.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russia would support broadly stable oil output by OPEC Plus group of leading global oil producers in May, while seeking a relatively small output hike for itself to meet the rising seasonal demand, a source familiar with Russia's thinking said on Monday. Russian Energy Ministry and the Office of Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, in charge of Moscow's ties with OPEC Plus, have not immediately responded to requests for comments. Sources told Reuters last week that they expect a decision similar to the last meeting when the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies including Russia, also known as OPEC+, meets on April 1 to decide output policy.
India and the United States have agreed to revamp their strategic energy partnership to focus on greater collaboration in cleaner energy sectors such as biofuels and hydrogen production, an Indian government said in a statement on Monday. The statement was issued after a virtual meeting of Indian Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. The two countries will intensify efforts to take advantage of advanced U.S. technologies and India's rapidly growing energy market, it said. The United States overtook Saudi Arabia as India's second biggest oil supplier after Iraq last month.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
Australia expects to log a record $136 billion $103.85 billion, from iron ore exports this financial year, as global steel making recovers after a COVID-19-led downturn, a government report showed on Monday. The country's most valuable economic export is expected to earn more than $100 billion Australian dollars per year for the next half-decade as miners like BHP Group, Rio Tinto and Fortescue dig out more iron ore from Western Australia's Pilbara region. Further out, gains from the export of new energy materials like copper, lithium and nickel are expected to offset lower contributions from thermal coal, according to the report by the Department of Industry.
Chinese steel futures advanced on Monday, with rebar and hot-rolled coil both closing at record highs, as attractive industrial profit margins and rising demand amid strong construction and manufacturing activity lifted prices. China's industrial profit surged 179% in the first 2 months from the year-ago period. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics showed on Saturday. Margins in the manufacturing sector jumped 219.5% on an annual basis, while profit earned by ferrous smelting and processing companies soared 271% during the January to February period, according to the Statistics Bureau. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Farms from Ukraine's southern and eastern regions have started the 2021 spring sowing, seeding the first 106,300 hectares of wheat, barley, peas and oats as of March 25, the Economy Ministry said on Monday. The 2021 sowing campaign started a few weeks later due to lingering cold weather in most of the country. The overall grain area is likely to total 15.5 million hectares in 2021, including 7.96 million hectares of winter grains, the ministry said in a statement.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.